Okay, let's unpack this. If you've ever had to get an HD video signal across a decent-sized room, maybe a conference space or even just a big living room, you know that your standard HDMI cable, well, it kind of gives up the ghost after about 50 feet. Pretty useless for long runs. So today, we're doing a deep dive into a specific piece of gear, the A-Neuvideo ANI-0102POE-XT. It's built to solve exactly that distance problem.
Right. And our mission here really is to figure out how this box works as essentially a powerful 1x2 HDMI extender and splitter, taking one source, getting it to two different screens far away, all using, regular CAT6 network cable. It tackles a really fundamental AV setup challenge.
Okay, so the core job. One HDMI in splits to two destinations.
Good.
Simple enough. But what caught my eye immediately is that HDMI loop output on the transmitter.
Yeah, that's actually a really practical touch. It means you can have a local monitor, maybe for checking the signal or just viewing right there next to your source device, while still sending the main signal way down the line. Just for context, technically this system uses a 10.2 gigabits per second bandwidth, and it sticks to the, older but still very common HDMI 1.4 and HDCPO 1.4 standards.
Hold on, 1.4. Why does that specific standard, HDMI 1.4, matter when we're talking about 4K video these days? Can you explain that for people listening?
Good question. That's exactly where the trade-offs come in, especially with distance. Because it's HDMI 1.4, your highest possible 4K resolution is locked at 30 Hz, 30 frames per second. It just doesn't have the bandwidth for 4K at 60 Hz. So that 4K 30 limit, that's the compromise you make to get that signal boosted over a single C6 cable.
Okay, that makes total sense. It's a bandwidth thing. So let's talk about those distance numbers then, because for anyone installing this, that's crucial.
Absolutely. The numbers basically dictate your setup. If you need that higher 4K resolution at 30 Hertz, which, is fine for movies or less demanding content, your max distance is 131 feet. That's 40 meters. Now, if you can drop down to standard 1080p Full HD at 60 Hz, which is still very widely used and looks great, you need less bandwidth, so the range jumps up quite a bit. You get 230 feet or 70 meters. Big difference.
That flexibility is really key, isn't it? You choose more distance or higher definition depending on what that screen is actually doing. And interesting that even with all this focus on video extension, it looks like it handles audio pretty well, too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Even though it's going over network cable, it supports the good stuff. Lossless surround sound formats like LPCM 7.1 channel, Dolby True HD, and DTS HD master audio. It keeps that premium audio experience intact.
Okay, now here's something that installers will really appreciate. Power. Getting power outlets behind remote displays is always a headache.
Yeah.
How does this device help there?
Right. So they use something called POC. It's 12-volt one-way power over cable. What that means is you only need to plug in the main transmitter unit. That unit then sends the power needed down the same CT6 cable to the two receiver units at the display end.
Okay. So no power bricks needed behind the TVs.
Exactly. No extra power outlets, no messy cables behind the screen. It makes mounting and installation much, much cleaner. A real time saver.
That's brilliant, really. Simple, but effective. Now, beyond power, another potential nightmare is getting the source and the display to, talk to each other correctly.
Yeah.
The handshake.
That's where EDID management comes into play. EDID, extended display identification data, that's how the source device knows what the screen can handle, resolution, refresh rate, all that. This box has advanced EDID management features built in, so you can force settings or manage that handshake reliably, which helps stop flickering, or the wrong resolution showing up, those annoying issues.
Okay, good. And what about controlling the source? Say your Blu-ray player or media box is tucked away in a closet 200 feet from the TV.
Great.
How do you use the remote?
Yeah, that's where the IR return feature comes in. One-way IR return, specifically infrared. You can point your normal source remote control at a little IR receiver eye near the TV. That IR signal gets sent backwards up the CT6 cable to the transmitter end, and then it blasts out to control your hidden device. It's pretty essential for making the system actually usable day to day.
Right, absolutely. Okay, and just wrapping up the practical side. The actual boxes themselves, they seem pretty small.
Yeah, quite compact. The transmitter is roughly, 7 by 3 inches, and the receiver is even smaller. Plus, they're in metal cases, so pretty durable.
Oh, and for certain buyers like government or schools, it's TAA compliant, and you get a solid 3-year limited warranty too.
Good to know.
So if we kind of zoom out, look at the bigger picture, this device and others like it really show this powerful trend. Network infrastructure, your basic C6 cable, is becoming the backbone for everything, including high-quality media. You're not pulling specialized, expensive AV cables anymore for many jobs. You're just using the same flexible, cheaper network cable that's probably already in the walls.
This convergence, running 4K video, power, control signals, high-end audio, all over standard IT cabling, it really streamlines how you design and install these systems. So maybe something for you to think about is how this blurring of lines between AV and IT systems using network cable for everything, how that's going to continue to reshape, well, pretty much every installation project going forward.